This is me in the year 2000, sleeping in my little blue race car bed, dreaming about being a professional race car driver one day. Now, approaching 30, I think that ship has sailed, but I happen to have a blue car with a moderate amount of horsepower that's rear-wheel drive that I can take to the track now. The only issue is there is a lot of mechanical stuff wrong with this. So today, we're gonna see if we can get this 350Z track ready. My name is Tyler and I've been restoring my 350Z for about a month now. So far I've done a little bit of body work, some painting, pulled out some dents, replaced a few sensors, did some routine maintenance, and I re-cleared the carbon fiber hood. But today we're going to be getting into some more maintenance to get this thing track ready. Pretty much everything I need to replace in the car is here on this cart. You guys are probably wondering why I'm not painting the car and fixing all the stuff that I messed up on it. The weather. I have something that needs to go outside, is very large, that I might paint in, and it's only 45 degrees out. But for today, oil leak and sensor. I replaced that oil sensor in the first video. I might have cranked down on it a little too hard and over torqued it, or it's because it's a cheap part from Amazon, it's starting to leak out of the sensor itself. So we gotta replace the sensor and then do an oil change. Number 2, ABS module. You guys have been following along in the build series. The ABS module is probably malfunctioning on this car. I'm gonna go through a few electrical tests to see if it is actually malfunctioning. If it is, we will replace it because I have it one off of a parts car here. And then after that, brakes. You can't go on a track without being able to stop well. Once I get the ABS module fixed, hopefully, then we're gonna replace the front brakes with new pads and new rotors. That way we can stop well on the track. Number 4, diff bushing. The differential bushing is worn out, and if you guys have ever seen differential bushing worn out, it causes the diff to move more than it should under acceleration braking, and basically it causes a lot of loss of power, and it's just not great for all of the moving parts that are connected to it. That is something I've never done, so we're gonna have a lot of fun doing that. If we get to it, I found an exhaust leak when I was gonna swap the O2 sensor on it, where the catalytic converter connects to the header. One of the bolts is missing, and there's supposed to be 2. So that's probably why I have a bunch of fumes in my cabin. But let's pull the car in and get started on all this work that I have to do. Yay! First up, oil pressure sensor. Pretty easy. You just unplug the electrical connector from this side, unscrew it, and plug the new one in. I can't see shit. And if you can see, there is oil all over the place under here. And that's all we need to unplug and unscrew. Okay. There you go. And the torque settings for this is supposed to be, can you guys see me? Hello. It's supposed to be torqued down to like 10 foot-pounds of torque. I don't have a torque wrench that reads that low, but I figure just as tight as your oil filter would go on. I'm not sure. If I'm wrong, I just put it on, put the socket on it and turned it till it was snug. Hopefully that doesn't ruin it like I did the last one, because this one was $125. I gave the area quick wipe down, hit it with some brake clean so that I can monitor the leak and can confirm if that was the actual spot that was leaking a few days from now. Let's do a quick little oil change. And while I do that, I have a fun little story time update about the car. This series has reached so many people on the internet that the previous owner DM'd me on Instagram, and his name was Austin. The guy who actually crashed the car found me on the internet and sent me pictures and videos of it before and after the crash. It actually looked pretty dang good, and I was super pumped to get the backstory on this. I thought you guys might find this interesting too. Hopefully I can restore this car into a condition similar to what it once was, because it did look pretty dang sick. Now let's wrap up this oil change. So new sensor's in, oil change is done. Hopefully I don't have a leak anymore, fingers crossed. We'll check back on it in a couple of days just to make sure. Now we can check that off of our list. All right, now all the easy stuff is out of the way. Time to put my detective hat on, and we're gonna look into this ABS module. What we need to do is take a look at that module over here, check the fuses that go to it, and we're gonna check all the easy stuff first. That way it could be a simple, cheap fix. Here's what an actual module looks like. Computer, block that distributes all the fluid, and then the pump is this round part. Here's what the top of it looks like that you can see in the car. You have all the lines that run to every single brake caliper in your car, and then they're all labeled here on the top. Usually what happens is the pump will fail or the computer will fry something in it. Oh! And it can't tell these solenoids when to open and close. That way you maintain traction when braking under like a wet circumstance or something like that where ABS would kick on. The first fuse that controls the ABS module is this pink one. It's located on your battery cover, and this is the small fuse box in front of your battery. But you can see that all of those terminals are still intact. None of them are burnt, none of them are popped. There's a fuse box under your steering wheel that has a bunch of other fuses in it. And it has a 10 amp fuse. I forgot to record it, but I did check it. It was all good, so let's move on to the next thing. Kind of felt like I was a dog chasing my own tail. I don't know exactly what to check. But after consulting a bunch of YouTube videos online, reading a bunch of forums, and a few different people, engineering student, the people at the local Firestone, and a bunch of different people that work as actual mechanics, not like me being a pretend mechanic, they pretty much have guided me to a solution. I have two things planned. First, I'm gonna take this module apart, and we're gonna take the computer module off the back of it. We're gonna clean it out with some electronic parts cleaner, reassemble it, and see if that works. Brakes are all bled, caps back on. Let's see if cleaning that module is worth it, or if I'm gonna have to just put the new one on and revin it. Damn it! All right, so clearly that didn't work. I'm gonna quickly swap out the old ABS unit with the one that I got from the parts car. And since I basically already did that, I'm just gonna time lapse it really quick, and then we're gonna move on to doing the rear differential bushing after that. So let's wrap this up. Yeah, the brakes are braking, we're good. Get like up to 20, we'll give it a brake. This is the longest I've driven it without this light being on. Like I'm like a good mile down the road now. It might have fixed it. Find out tomorrow, whenever I drive it around for more than 10 minutes. So move on to the next thing now, guys. Quick little update. The ABS system light is not on. It's been a couple of days since then. I decided that it was a great idea that I want to start doing this differential at 7 p.m. the night before. I have to go to Nissan to get the ABS system re-VINed in my car. Nothing like a little bit of pressure to get you to figure something out for the first time ever you've done it. First thing we got to do is we have to take apart the sway bar links. We have to drop the whole sway bar off of it. The 2 bolts on each bushing on either side. Then I have to drop the center mid pipe for the exhaust. Then I have to disconnect both axles and the drive shaft. And then I have to disconnect the ABS sensor, the valve for your differential on the top. Then we can finally unbolt the 3 bolts that are holding in the differential, and then force out the bushing with the Z1 Motorsports tool. That costs $150, and the bushing costs $100 itself. So nothing to it but to start, I guess. No, there's no way I can drop this without moving the exhaust. Okay. If I learned anything from my last video, I'm not struggling with those exhaust hangers again. I bought this for 20 bucks on Amazon. I only have to take one off to get this mid pipe off, but it should make it a little bit easier. Ugh. Oh, okay, it wasn't that bad. Hold please. Got the sway bar, 1 piece out. 2 pieces out, sway bar and the mid pipe. That only took an hour. Oh boy. All right, what's next? Next thing, these. That's 1 axle down. Woo! Careful. Axle's disconnected from the differential. We are 1 step closer to getting this thing out. Now these little sensors, and sensor is out. And now the moment of truth. Got that on there. We're gonna take that bolt out. That's the big one on the back of the differential here. Here goes nothing. I don't have enough weight. Oh, wow. Oh, got it. Oh. Before I remove the front 2, I need to make sure the diff is supported, because I might tip a little forward. This back one is a stud that goes the whole way through the subframe. So I'm gonna have to slide it forward, down, and then out, and then I can pull it out of the back of the car. Almost apart. We're getting there. Oh, okay.
Now we get loaded
okay.
down a little bit.
Hold on, 1 second. Okay, drop it down a little bit. Just a hair. Forward. I think it's pinched on the front washer on the top. Okay, pick it up, a hair. A little more. Okay, now let's try it again. Okay, hold on. So I went and borrowed a transmission jack because this should let us strap the differential to it and pick it up and down, move it forward and backward, everything that we need. I kind of got myself in a bit of a pickle there with the two jacks that are under there. So we're gonna have to try and meander those two out, one of those out, slide this under there while the other one's still supporting it. And yeah, I don't know. We'll figure it out.
I ended up just rebolting the front two and pulling the jacks out. It was actually easier than I thought it was going to be.
Tie it around here. This is borrowed from somebody that borrowed it from somebody, so we'll just do that. Holy crap.
Put your hand on it. Especially since that strap doesn't work.
Oh my gosh. No!
Okay.
Hold on. Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Oh, let's go! Only took 3 hours. Hell yeah. I need to get this back in today. Yeah, I'll make do with this. I'll be fine with the jack. Because the jack, once I get it situated on here the way it needs to be, the jack will hold it all. So for these bushings on the front of it, usually it's rubber inside with a metal sleeve on the back, just like this one is. But this one, for some reason, is metal all the way around. So I'm just gonna stick this impact socket on it, beat the crap out of all that hammer until that pops out. This one though, I have a problem because you really need a socket that lines up perfectly on that silver part for you to be able to tap it out. And this one is just a hair too small. And that's the biggest one I have. I'll have to make do, I guess. And she's out. The other one's gonna be a lot harder to get out. That second one was a fight. I think that one was still good. That thing almost won, I'm not gonna lie. That was a good like 30 minutes. This fitting wasn't completely out of grease, as you can probably tell. Let's grab the Z1 bushing tool and we'll try and get the one out of the subframe. This requires 2 steps and this might be a little bit tricky. Okay, so this is the entirety of the Z1 kit that I was talking about. You get a big cup, piece of all thread with washers and nuts, and then you get a smaller one. So pretty much you use the small one with the small one, you use the big one with the big one. So big cup, small adapter for the back here, smaller thread, washer, nut, and then it's gonna go definitely by hand. Work this and hold the other side, and it'll slowly push out that inner grommet. So I will come back when I have this done. The cup will fall out, and everything will be inside of the cup. See? Big guy, grease up the threads, luber shaft, big guy in the cup. Now, got a bigger lever. Oh yeah, baby! It's just gonna take a while. I'm not gonna pop it out every time because I don't have a 1/2-inch ratchet. Damn it, I was just a Harbor Freight too. I was like, I wonder if I need anything else to do this. I should have got a 1/2-inch ratchet that's as long as possible. That's it. It's out. You see the metal shell in there? And that's the casing that comes out. Basically, this is leaking, cracked, and destroyed. That's why we're replacing it.
Now, in that orientation, will come up.
New bushing, all greased up. I need a rubber mallet. Ugh. Wow, that actually went in pretty easy. The tiniest rubber mallet I've ever seen in my life.
That looks pretty good. I want the back to be just flush with the subframe.
Uh-huh.
And we actually overdrive it by probably like 1/8 of an inch, just a little bit more out.
I'm calling that good. I think when I seat the differential in there, it'll probably flush itself to the center point that it needs to be. There she is. This piece goes inside of it as well. I gave that a quick lubing as well, and I was able to just press it in completely by hand. This is upside down right now. Completely flat one goes in the bottom. Well, it would be technically the top, and then this recessed one with the washer will be on the bottom. That worked out a lot better than the other side did. Only bushings. Actually, I shouldn't be doing that. I'm gonna break the vent tube. Yeah, I just bent the vent tube. Now that I got these new bushings put in this thing, and the new bushing put in the subframe of the car, it's time to do everything that just took me basically 8 hours to do in reverse. So I'm gonna speed run this shit.
So the next day, the rear diff bushing bolt, the stud that goes through the back of the subframe, does the old tight, then loose. Probably damaged the threads on the inside of the diff to the point where it just spins freely because I might have over torqued it using just this torque wrench. I called a mechanic shop nearby, and then in a few days they're gonna check over my work and probably have to rethread that stud in. So I think after 10 hours, I'm pretty beat. Also the sway bar link that I broke the stud off of, I can't get to right now. I'm gonna ask them whenever they do it, like how they would go about fixing something like that. But I'm assuming it's probably gonna take them quite a few hours. The reality of cars is that stuff does not always go as planned, but always keep moving forward. This was literally the hardest thing I've ever done on a car, like in terms of total time, the amount of steps and everything. I did plenty of research, I didn't do enough. But it is what it is. We'll get it fixed. They'll look at it. They'll take care of me. With a lift and stuff, this could probably be in and out in like 4 hours and be done. But I'm crawling around on the ground, and I've had enough for today at least.
Good news and bad news. Good news, I dropped the car off in a mechanic shop. I did indeed mess up the threads on the stud that comes out of the differential. They fixed that. It took them 30 minutes. Would have taken me 5 hours. They also fixed the other bolt that I couldn't get secured for around the rubber grommet on the sway bar link. Turns out that one's not tack welded up in the subframe. It is actually just like a carriage bolt where it presses in, and then once it's pressed in the whole way, it will not turn then. So all I needed to do is stick a giant lever up in there and force it down. The more you know. Today though, it's a new day, new mindset. Bad news, what I thought was a wheel bearing in the front of the car is actually a bent wheel. It was slightly bent when I got them, or I hit a pothole recently and bent them myself. I don't know. It's highly likely that I did it because of the area I live in. I found somebody on Facebook that happens to have the exact same wheel. I'm gonna drive an hour and like 15 minutes to go get it, and then I'm gonna go do the front brakes on the car, because if I actually want to track this thing, I gotta do the front brakes. You need to stop. I did the rear brakes actually the other day, so that means I'll have all new brakes all the way around. The diff will be secure, the brake system will be working again, and we should be 100% ready to go to do autocross or a track day. Next clip is hopefully going to be me picking up a wheel and getting it bounded and balanced and stuff. I got the wheel. I'm going to get this thing mounted tomorrow probably, but right now I need to do the front brakes, and I actually also got a little surprise too. The guy I bought the wheel off of had a free steering wheel laying around, and I'm going to get this reupholstered or something maybe at some point. What do you guys think I should do? Like Alcantara, some black perforated leather, some black stitching, red stitching, blue stitching. I don't know. Maybe down the line we throw this in with like an OEM Plus version. Also, real quick, if you guys are enjoying these videos, hop in the Discord down below. We talk about cars, video games, movies, you name it. We just chill, and you guys get early access to information and direct access to me. Also, if you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And if you want to support the channel, you can do so by becoming a member on YouTube or going to the Patreon in the description. Let's wrap this up and get the last thing done to get this thing ready for track day. Let's go! done with the brakes now. Bad news, that oil leak is not from the sensor, it's from somewhere higher up in the engine bay around this area by the intake. I'm gonna have to further look into that at a later date because that has to be done before I can go on the track that I wanna go on because their tech requires that there's no leaks in the car. That's it, guys. This thing is so much track ready minus an oil leak. If you guys enjoyed the video, please leave a like and a comment. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one where we either paint some more of the car or I'm going to tackle the interior that's kind of fooked up right now. Peace out.